Establishing wide shot. Have you ever felt like life was crushing you, like you had no strength left to fight back? What if I told you that your real power isn't in your muscles or your money? It's hidden deep inside, waiting for the right moment to shine. Stick with me through this story, and by the end, you might just see your own life in a whole new way. Let me take you back to a small town nestled in the hills, where the days moved slow and the people were as sturdy as the old oak trees. Sam entering scene, back view. There lived a young man named Sam. Sam was just like any of us, ordinary, you know? He wasn't the strongest guy around. In fact, he was a bit skinny, with arms that looked like they could barely lift a sack of potatoes. He worked at the local mill, grinding wheat from dawn till dusk, earning just enough to keep a roof over his head and food on the table for his aging mother. Close-up of Sam's face with strong emotion. Sam had big dreams once. As a kid, he'd stare at the mountains beyond the town and imagine climbing them, reaching the top where the air was crisp and the world felt endless. But life had a way of wearing him down. His father had passed away years ago in a farming accident, leaving Sam to shoulder everything. "You're the man of the house now," his mother would say, her eyes full of quiet pride. But deep down, Sam felt weak. He saw the other men in town, burly farmers with calloused hands, lifting heavy loads without breaking a sweat. "Why can't I be like them?" he'd whisper to himself at night. Sam walking on path, sitting alone. He tried to build his body, pushing himself with extra work, but it never seemed enough. His muscles ached, but his spirit, that ached even more. Symbolic object. One crisp autumn morning, everything changed. Sam woke up to the sound of rain pounding on the roof like angry fists. He rushed to the mill, only to find the river had swollen overnight, flooding the fields and washing away half the town's crops. The mill owner, a gruff old man named Mr. Harlan, gathered everyone. "Boys, we're in trouble," he said, his voice heavy. "The bridge to the main road is out. Supplies can't get in, and our grain is rotting. If we don't fix this, the whole town starves this winter." Conflict is struggle moment. The men murmured, fear in their eyes. They needed to rebuild the bridge fast, but it was no easy task. The river raged like a wild beast, and the wooden beams were heavy, slick with mud. Mr. Harlan called for volunteers, the strongest ones, he said. The burly farmers stepped up, flexing their arms, ready to prove their worth. Sam hung back, his heart pounding. "What good am I?" he thought. "I'd just get in the way." But then he saw his mother in the crowd, her frail frame wrapped in a shawl, looking at him with that same quiet pride. She nodded, as if to say, "You can do this, son." Swallowing his fear, Sam stepped forward. The others laughed under their breath. "You, Sam? You'll snap like a twig," one jeered. But Mr. Harlan shrugged. "We need every hand. Let's go." Emotional turning point. The struggle began at dawn the next day. The men waded into the cold water, hauling logs across the current. Sam slipped on the first try, the icy river pulling at his legs like it wanted to swallow him whole. He gasped for air, clinging to a rock, his body shivering. "See. Too weak," another man muttered. Sam wanted to quit right there, to crawl back home and hide. But something stirred inside him, a quiet voice saying, "Not yet. Try again." Day after day, the work dragged on. Blisters formed on Sam's hands, turning raw and bloody. His back screamed in pain, and doubt flooded his mind like the river itself. "Why am I even here?" he'd think during the long nights, staring at the ceiling. The strong men pushed through with brute force, but one by one, they started to falter. A big guy named Tom twisted his ankle and had to sit out. Another, Jake, got sick from the chill and couldn't lift anymore. The bridge was only half done, and time was running out. Food supplies dwindled. Families went hungry. Sam's mother grew weaker, her cough echoing through their small home. "Hang in there, Ma," he'd say, forcing a smile. But inside, he was breaking. Hopeful shift. Then came the climax, the storm that tested everything. One night, thunder roared like a giant awakening, and rain poured down in sheets. The men rushed to the site at midnight, lanterns flickering in the wind. The half-built bridge groaned under the floodwaters, threatening to collapse. "We have to reinforce it now." Mr. Harland shouted over the howl. The remaining strong men charged in, but the current was too fierce. One slipped and nearly drowned, another couldn't hold the beam steady. Sam stood there, drenched and terrified. His body felt like lead, every muscle begging him to stop. "I'm not strong enough," the doubt screamed. But then he thought of his mother, of the town depending on them, of his father's memory. What if strength wasn't just about muscles? What if it was about not giving up, even when everything hurt? In that moment, something shifted. Sam grabbed a rope, tied it around his waist, and waded in deeper than anyone else. The water slammed against him, pulling, pushing. He reached the weakest beam, his hand slipping on the wet wood. "Hold on," he yelled to himself. The others watched in shock as Sam, the weak one, braced against the current. He looped the rope around the beam, pulling with everything he had, not just his arms, but his will. Inch by inch, he secured it, his teeth gritted, tears mixing with the rain. Lightning flashed, illuminating his face, determined, unbreakable. The men joined in, inspired, and together they stabilized the bridge just as the worst of the storm hit. Sam smiling, feeling peace. By morning, it held strong. As the sun rose, the town cheered. Supplies rolled in across the new bridge, and hope returned. Sam's mother hugged him tight, her eyes shining. "I always knew you had it in you," she whispered. The burly men slapped his back, no more jeers, just respect. Final resolution scene. But Sam, he felt different. He realized his body hadn't changed much, but his mindset had. Abstract, symbolic, hourglass. You see, friends, that's the real strength we're all searching for. It's not about being the biggest or the toughest on the outside. It's that fire inside, the one that whispers keep going when the world says stop. Think about your own life for a second. Have you ever faced a storm, a loss, a failure that made you feel weak? Maybe a job that slipped away, a dream that shattered, or a heart that broke. It's easy to think you're not enough. But what if, like Sam, you shifted your mindset? What if you saw challenges not as walls, but as chances to uncover your hidden power? Real strength comes from resilience, from choosing hope over despair, from pushing through when it hurts the most. It's in your thoughts, your choices, every single day. Abstract, symbolic, path to horizon. So next time life knocks you down, remember Sam's story. Stand up, tie that rope around your waist, and wade in. Because your real strength. It's already there, waiting to change everything. You've got this. Keep believing, and watch how your world transforms.